In the year 2017, a Roblox game would be released by the name The Guide of the Realm. This game would end up having a history so confusing, elusive, and outright insane that you'd think it was done on purpose as some sort of ARG. But okay, hold on, we are getting a bit ahead of ourselves here. To get the full extent of the story, we need to go back to an era of Roblox that very few people give much thought to nowadays, mostly being overshadowed by the early 2000s era for actually being interesting. Of course, I'm talking about... I don't exactly remember what I was doing at that time, as I wasn't even a teenager in 2017. Still, probably, while looking at the front page for something to play, I came across this. The original 2017 page seems to be lost, but this is the closest I could find. Joining the game, I was brought to a very cool and unique experience, at least for the time. 2017 Roblox games weren't exactly known for even having a story at all, but this game seemed to at least try. The story of the game worked on a chapter basis, with the first one being the prologue. In it, you're put in this mysterious place called the Realm, with some really cool and atmospheric lighting and building. During your stay at the Realm, you parkour through it while constantly being reminded that you don't really belong here by a mysterious voice. Now, nobody knows who the mysterious voice is. All that the game shows you is that it's text on top of the screen, so I'll just go with that. After completing the Realm and being told the game's world is in danger, you're finally put in Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is based in this more realistic medieval style, if you could call it realistic, whatever, which really makes you question if what you were experiencing just minutes ago was actually real or just part of a dream, as you're shown waking up in your house. You are given an objective and you head to a village, going through this honestly pretty well built forest. This chapter does an actual good job at feeling lived in, especially once you get past the forest and into the village area, but that's besides the point. After completing whatever you had to do in the village, it's suddenly nighttime and you have to go back to your house in the middle of the woods. But before getting there, you hear a strange sound. Going closer to it, you are finally met with this. This is the original game I played in 2017. I know this isn't exactly earth-shattering writing or gameplay, but it's still a pretty unique and charming experience. The way the levels were built and the obviously stolen copyrighted piano music at the beginning just give it a charm that still sits with me to this day. But something would happen to this game. Something that I haven't really seen happen to any Roblox game in recent memory. Something that has sent me through the deepest rabbit hole I've honestly ever been involved in. The year is now 2020 or 2021. While I was looking for games again, I suddenly got reminded of this cool little game I played 3 or 4 years ago, The Guide of the Realm. Looking for it on Roblox yielded no results, but looking further on other sources like YouTube or Reddit, I actually found some old videos or posts with links pointing to the original game. Frankly, I was expecting the game to just be private or cancelled because of team drama, haven't seen that one before, but instead, clicking the link brought me to a page that looked like this. And this is just the beginning, mind you. I originally thought some of these old posts maybe had the link wrong, but no, every single source I could find just led me back to this atrocity, and it started feeling really unreasonable for every single person ever to be wrong about the link after I kept finding more mentions of it. In fact, checking on the Wayback Machine for every single archive under the game's ID, you'll see that the game was constantly changing names, from The Flash Tycoon a few times to a link with the name "Can you get out of the box?" with the link leading you to a very weird empty base plate called Meeting the Founder with a really funny description that looks like a 3-year-old wrote it, and at times it was even changed back to the original name, The Guide of the Realm. During this time, the group that owns the game would also seem to keep changing owners for no apparent reason. All of the new owner accounts were no names, and they didn't seem to be associated with the original group owner owners or the original game at all. Checking the current group owner nowadays will bring you to the page of a banned user with ties to, funnily enough, do_big, a group of people notoriously known for buying popular groups or games. So does that mean someone from do_big was responsible for this? Maybe they just bought the game from the original owners. That's what I also thought at first, but I mean, if you check any of do_big's projects, they don't seem to be actively replacing cool projects with tycoons of all things. Still, something was very fishy here. Sure, we have a tie to a group of people notorious for buying popular games of developers, but the nonsensical way the Guide of the Realm was handled, and the way the group would constantly be changing hands out of nowhere, still didn't sit right with me. Which is why I decided to get even further in this rabbit hole and try to find out what actually happened to this game, and lose months of my life on a game nobody cares about in the process. Now, finding any sort of mention of this game on the internet is easier said than done. Once you get past the first page of results, you start getting into trouble. Despite the impressive amount of visits it had for its time, there is next to no discourse of this game anywhere online apart from a few Reddit threads detailing how the game is lost and nobody's talking about it. YouTube wasn't of help neither. The only videos I could find that I didn't already know about were videos with less than 1,000 views recorded on a toaster. Despite that, I kept searching online for any mention of this game. I even found an entry on the unofficial Roblox wiki with the information we already know. But that was it. It really surprised me that there was no official Discord or any social media post from any of the original creators giving any hint as to what might have happened. It really did seem like nobody on the internet knew what happened with this Roblox game, or weren't interested enough on a niche 2017 Roblox game to find out, but I was already too deep into this. So for me, this is how the story ended for a very long while. A game that I really used to enjoy, gone. And with hardly anybody on the chase for this obscure Roblox game, it was surprising there were even videos documenting the game on YouTube in the first place. I'd occasionally return to these videos. Something about this game just kept me coming back. Rarely, sure, but there was something so enamoring about a game with such a mysterious atmosphere and unfinished story being completely wiped off the face of the internet, with the only footage of it proving it ever existed being a few videos graciously uploaded by some unassuming people on YouTube. But as the years went on, I started noticing more people posting comments on these videos. People with similar experiences to mine were coming forward about their own memories of the game, with some people even going as far as dedicating entire paragraphs to it. But one day, randomly rewatching one of these videos again, I found a comment that was different from the rest. In fact, this unassuming, easy to miss comment would end up being the key to solving the mystery about what happened to this game. The comment claims to be part of the original developers. Now, I was a bit skeptical of this, but Awesome Forever is pretty much confirmed one of the original developers of the game. In their comment, they do provide proof that they were the one behind the game's original intro. This alone would be enough, but later on, I actually got my hands on the original main menu place file for the game, and I can safely say they were part of the original team. In the comment, we get a little bit of insight into the dev team. The game had around 5 people working on it, with the most important being Kelly, Old Pal, and Awesome. Initially, Kelly and Old Pal owned the project together, with Kelly handling funds, Old Pal scripting, and Awesome contributing the detailed origami animation I showed you before. But as the game started to gain popularity, tensions also started arising. Apparently, Kelly demanded sole ownership of the entire group, leading Old Pal to rightfully be mad at her. Kelly also sought control of their entire Discord server, which created a split in the community with people who did and didn't side with her. Eventually, under pressure, Old Pal ended up transferring the server ownership to Awesome, who deleted the server to prevent Kelly from taking over. In the end, Kelly struggled to even manage the game without its original scripter. She allegedly hired and then fired multiple replacements, rushing out a third chapter that apparently felt rushed and disappointed most of the community. Eventually, Kelly just decided to sell the game and the group owning it without even compensating the original team. Either way, it all makes so much more sense now. The constant changing of group owners, the insane mishandling of the game afterwards, are all much more understandable now. By the time the game became what it is nowadays, the original developers, in fact, the whole community behind this game, was already long gone. It really seems like the people who bought this group had literally no idea what they're doing. I believe they thought that by using the game's millions of visits, this would have helped make their shitty brain rot tycoon get any popularity at all. And it might not be obvious, but a game's visits don't really affect the game's popularity. Sure, it's a byproduct of a game getting popular. I mean, more people playing equals more visits, but having lots of them in the first place doesn't actually help a game get popular. As it stands nowadays, the game is completely irrecoverable, with the current owner of the group being terminated, as well as the account in the highest role also being terminated. I tried reaching out to the only other person who wasn't banned, but they seem to be more interested in making another anime simulator or something. And even if he were to answer back, it's not a guarantee that he would even have the permissions to revert the game to not Gacha Life Tycoon. This story left me with a pretty sour taste in my mouth. Despite all my progress, there's still no way anybody can experience the game for themselves. Even if this video gets to a lot of people, the game will still likely fall into obscurity after some time, which is why I decided to use my abilities for once and take matters into my own hands. I'm currently working on a full modern reimagining of the original, with the prologue being literally out now. I originally wanted to make a full one-to-one recreation of the original, but I soon realized that the original actually cut lots of corners and was really unpolished in some aspects. And with chapter 3 being literally confirmed as lazy and rushed, I'd rather take the original ideas and settings of the game and hopefully turn them into something better. Don't worry, most of the game will still pretty much look and function the same as the original. I highly encourage you to watch a playthrough of the original on YouTube before playing my game, and if you're feeling like it, I'm open to feedback on my Discord server, link in the description. So what started with me being curious about a game I played so long ago ended up in, well, this. A tale about a group of people who got together to create something amazing that still holds value to so many people to this day, but ended up losing everything they made from what essentially was some very petty drama. Please don't harass any of the original developers, especially Kelly. This video is not a hit piece on anybody. It's been over 7 years since this drama, and I'm sure most of the people involved have grown as people and even probably regret the stuff they did. I want this video to be more of a celebration on the original game rather than a hit piece on Kelly or something. Sadly, I can't end this video by just sending a link to the original or something, so I hope my reimagining of the original game is good enough. If you like this video, consider liking or subscribing even. I really want to give this YouTube thing a shot with more serious videos like these instead of clips of my games or something, and by doing that, you're helping a lot. Huge shout out to the original remake project of this game, even if it didn't go anywhere. The community there was really helpful, and thanks to the project is how I managed to get in contact with one of the original developers. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you got any free time, go check out the remake of the game I made. Please, it's fun, I promise.